9:05 a.m., located at 1 East Main Street, Grand Courtroom, and via Zoom. Our agenda today starts out with our notice to the public. The Board of Supervisors welcomes comments from the public during the time allowed for discussion. You are requested to approach the microphone, state your name for the record, and limit the time used to present your remarks in order that others may be given an opportunity to speak. The normal process on any agenda item is for the chairperson to read the item from the agenda. The board is given an opportunity to comment on the issue and/or place a motion on the floor. An opportunity for discussion may be presented, at which time the public may participate, and a roll call vote will follow. Sherry, would you call the order? We're called to order.
Thompson.
Present.
Patton.
Here.
Slosik.
Here.
Okay. Would everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 4 on our agenda this morning is approval or amendment of the agenda. Entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the agenda as printed.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as printed. Any discussion? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Slosik.
Yes. Item 5 on our agenda this morning is the consent agenda. We'll be approving the minutes of the regular session of September 14th, 2021. Approving claims as audited and authorize the county auditor recorder to issue payment of the same. The listing of claims paid at this meeting and all claims paid in the current month will be published as part of the first meeting the following month. Reappointment of Marshall County Compensation Board members. First is Gary McKibben, a supervisor representative for a 4-year term through 6/30 of 2025. Robert Thomas, a supervisor representative for a 4-year term through 6/30 of 2025, and Tom McCoy, the county attorney representative. Let it be known that the supervisors do not select the elected officials represented on this committee, and his term will also be through 6/30 of 2025. For those of you, just for information only, this is the group that recommends the salaries for the elected officials. Item D on our consent agenda is to approve the closure of county offices with the Great Western Bank on October 11th, 2021, as the bank is closed for the federal holiday of Columbus Day. We've got some manure management plans this morning. PAG LC 59611 at 1699 148th Street, Clemens. No changes were made. Edler Brothers Farm, Section 13, number 62427 at 1568 180th Street, Clemens. No changes made. I'll entertain motions in the consent agenda, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
And Mr. Chairman, I'd second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as printed. Any further comments or discussions? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Slosik.
Yes.
Item 6 on our agenda this morning is to approve the application for an acceptance, if awarded, of grant number 19-CAMP-08 Methamphetamine Drug Hotspot Grant Program, July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. Federal funding on this grant is $6,000 and there is no local match required.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the application for acceptance of grant number 19, CIMP-08 Methamphetamine Drug Hotspots Grant Program, July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this application. Sheriff Phillips, do you have any comments you'd like to make on this before we vote?
Yeah, this is a federal grant that been out there for a couple of years now, and it's for paying overtime for those investigations for those methamphetamine hotspots. It is a little lower than it has been in the past, about $1,500. That's just the reduction in funding. It's been cut across the board through those eligible agencies in the state of Iowa. There were several $3,000 grant applications, and they felt that awarding those smaller grant amounts would do just as much good. There is additional funding available if we reach that maximum, so there could be adjustments later on if we do use that. One thing that they did add to this grant was heroin investigation, so that's another funding availability for overtime for those officers that investigate those overdoses.
Is heroin becoming more prevalent in our area?
Yes, it is. And I think it's been kind of that hidden investigation portion of that, because a lot of times these overdoses, we don't know about this till afterwards. So we're finding out that some of those unexpected deaths were being classified as a suicide have had those heroin overdoses. So there's a group in Des Moines that's kind of going back and revisiting those investigations to identify the source. We're not immune to it here in Marshall County. The Ames over in Story County, and then obviously Iowa City, those larger college towns. It's been more prevalent over the last few years, but it's just becoming more of a problem here in Iowa. It's something that you don't know where the stuff's coming from, so they're trying to identify those sources to be able to target those organizations that are distributing heroin and waste products. So it is becoming a problem.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions on this? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Okay. Item 7 on our agenda this morning is to approve a 2080 agreement between the Iowa Department of Natural Resources and Marshall County. The purpose of this agreement is to establish the terms and conditions for delegation of permitting issuing authority with respect to private water well construction and reconstruction. The renewal agreement has one addition relating to the location of certain wells within 1,000 feet of a previous or known contaminated site or leaking underground storage tank. All requirements of the agreement are also included in the existing procedures. Todd, do you have any comments? I know you're with us this morning on this.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello? All right, this is nothing, it's a renewal of a 5-year agreement that we have with the DNR. The only change they made is, like you said, is that they want us to do a little bit more checking on with wells within 1,000 feet of a contaminant, which we've done in the past. So this really, and it's in our procedures, this really isn't anything new. It's just, it's a re-up of a 5-year agreement that we've done since way before me, probably since the 1990s when they started this.
Typically, how deep do the wells go here in Iowa?
Between 200 and 300 feet for a good well.
Okay, entertain motions on this if there's nothing else.
No. Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve 2080 agreement between the Iowa Department of Natural Resources and Marshall County. Purpose of the agreement is to establish the terms and conditions for delegation of permit issuing authority with respect to private water well construction and reconstruction. The renewal agreement has one addition relating to location of certain wells within 1,000 feet of a previous or known contaminated site or leaking underground storage tank. All requirements of the agreement are included in existing procedures.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 8 on our agenda this morning is to approve the pre-construction agreement with the Iowa Department of Transportation for primary road project in accordance with the Iowa Code, Chapter 28E, 306, 306A, and 313.4. Hot mix asphalt resurfacing on Highway 14 from the Iowa River Bridge to County Road E18. Paul, you want to bring us up to speed on this before we do this?
This is a similar agreement to ones that we've done in the past where the DOT allows us to participate in their projects. When they do a resurfacing project, they will, if we opt into this, pave out 50 feet from each of the granular side road approaches. And there's 6 of them between the city limits and Marshalltown city limits and E18. And we've had really good luck with it. The operators really appreciate it because what it does is keeps our motor grader out of the traffic way of the primary highway when they're in their normal, granular maintenance.
Yep. Much safer for the public and for our operators.
Yes.
Okay, anything else? Okay, I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the pre-construction agreement with the Iowa Department of Transportation for primary road project in accordance with the Iowa Code Chapters 28E, 306, 306A, and 313.4 hot mix asphalt HMA resurfacing on Iowa 14 from Iowa River Bridge to County Road E18.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion or comments? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes,
Slosson,
Yes.
motion carried. Item number 9 on our agenda this morning is to approve a new hire for the Auditor Recorder Department, Phyllis Egebrod, as an election temporary worker, $11.50 an hour, up to 40 hours a week, ending on 11/19/2021, with a start date on or after October 4th, 2021. Pretty self-explanatory, but Nan, do you want to make any comments?
Yes, both this and the next one is for our temporary office workers for the upcoming city school election. Voting begins October 13th, and Phyllis is one of our two that's in there full-time. The other one is Carol Slifer. She doesn't ever terminate. Phyllis, we terminate and start and rehire after each election. So.
Oh, everybody always wants to ask when they can get an absentee and when can they start that?
They can request them now, but they will not be mailed till October 13th.
Okay, entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the new hire for the Auditor Recorder Department, Phyllis Egebrod, as a temporary election clerk, $11.50 an hour, up to 40 hours per week, ending 11/19/2021, with a start date on or after October 4, 2021.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any comments or questions?
I will say that up until the 13th, they're kind of part-time. They've got to do training on iVoters and some things, so it won't be full-time until October 13th.
And you guys have already started your trainings.
It never ends, but there's a special training you have to do to get access to iVoters, and they have to have that done and so they're up and ready to go October 13th.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes,
Slosson,
Yes.
motion carried. Item 10 on our agenda this morning is also for the election department. Approve 2 additional election temporary workers at $9 an hour as needed. I'll entertain motions on this item.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve 2 additional election temporary workers at $9 per hour as needed.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson,
Yes.
Item 11 on our agenda this morning is to approve a new hire for the sheriff's office, Joshua Zeiser, as deputy sheriff full-time at $25.93 per hour, full-time permanent, with a start date on or after 10/17/2021. The department has one vacant maximum authorized deputy position remaining after this hire. Entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the new hire for the sheriff's office, Joshua Zeiser, as a deputy sheriff, full-time at $25.93 per hour, full-time permanent, with a start date on or after 10/17/2021.
Pardon me.
Zeiser fills a vacancy due to staff organization after Sheriff Hoffman resigned. The department has one vacant maximum authorized deputy position remaining after this hire.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this hire. Sheriff, do you have anything for us on this?
Yeah, I think with our recruitment efforts, this is an example of our staff having those interactions with our local law enforcement. Joshua Zeiser, he's over a four-year veteran with Iowa State Patrol. With his interaction here in Marshall County, I think he sees what our agency is and what we stand for, what our mission is. We had the opening, and he applied, and I think it's going to be a very good addition to our sheriff's office. He's originally comes from Collins Maxwell area. He's married and has kids that are in our community schools in East Marshall. He's got ties to the community. I think this is going to be a really good addition to our office staff, or our sheriff's office staff.
I think it speaks volumes, and you should be commended. Your last two hires have been transfers from other local agencies. Obviously, you're doing something proper running your team that folks want to join ours. Congratulations.
Yes.
That speaks volumes of your organization. Okay, we have a motion and a second on this item. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Item number 12 this morning is to approve an employee status change at the sheriff's office. Jonathan Van Horn from jailer to jail supervisor 1 at $23.32 an hour, full-time permanent, effective on or after 10/3/2021. An additional 95 cents per hour as per the bargaining unit contract. I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve employee status change, sheriff's office, Jonathan Van Horn from jailer to jail supervisor 1 at $23.32 per hour, full-time permanent, effective on or after 10/3/2021.
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on this item. Sheriff, do you want to make any comments on this one?
This is with Jailer Van Horn. With the retirement of Jerry Overstake, and left what we call a supervisor 1, or equivalent to a sergeant's position, vacancy within our jail division. We had 3 really good candidates that applied for this position. When we talk about the testing, it is a promotional testing. They have to take a written test, and then they conducted an oral interview through our board, and then their personnel files are reviewed. So we had 3 really good candidates, and Jailer Van Horn was the first selection for this position. So if you remember, Jonathan was a jailer, and then he transferred to the patrol division. He felt that the jail was going to be his career, so he's obviously being promoted and excelling in the jail division of correctional services.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 13 this morning is to approve the employee status change of Marshall County Engineer Justin Childs from truck driver 3 at $27.05 an hour to PTM 2 at $27.13, effective on or after 10/2/2021. Entertain motions on this item.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the employee status change, Marshall County Engineer Justin Childs from TD3, $27.05 an hour, to PTM 2 at $27.13 an hour, effective on or after 10/2/2021.
Okay.
And Mr. Chair, I would second that.
We have a motion and a second on this item. Paul, you have any comments before we vote?
This is, Justin is moving out to our, from truck driver position to our Minerva shed for operating motor grader. And it's a vacancy that was caused by a retirement. We've moved around, a couple people have bid to different positions, but we will have an opening at truck driver, and we will still have an opening at motor grader at the link shed, and we'll be filling those hopefully before winter.
Any other comments or questions? There being none, we have motion and a second to approve. Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Just for the members of the public, we are looking for 1 truck driver in our secondary roads and 1 motor grader. If there's anybody out there that has those skills, please contact the county engineer and join the team.
And 1 journeyman mechanic.
We left that out.
That's an upcoming retirement as well.
Okay, a lot of retirements coming up. Item number 14 this morning is to consider a band shell rental for the State Center Historical Christmas, December 2nd through the 4th, 2021. The application has been completed and insurance payment, and the insurance is done and payment has been received. I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve rental of band shell to State Center Historical Christmas, December 2 through 4, 2020, 21, and that's it.
Okay,
I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second to approve the ban shell. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, I apologize, I should have stopped reading before I did, and now all of a sudden, we don't need the rest of that.
No, that's quite all right. Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes,
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
And we're just hoping for adequate weather so Van Shell can be moved and we don't have lots of snow. I'm hoping I just didn't jinx the event.
Well,
You might have.
if you did, it's now on the record, so we have somebody to blame. Both the state climatologist and the Farmer's Almanac are predicting a very severe winter. When they both hit it, it's rarely wrong, so I don't know what to expect, but Paul, have your A game on. We're on to public forum this morning. This is a time set aside for the public to make comments on topics of county business other than those listed on this agenda. No action will be taken on any of these topics brought up in the public forum. Anything for the good of the cause?
I have several, if
Okay.
everyone else has.
Go ahead and we'll hit anybody on Zoom when you're done.
All right, we have received the EMC renewal preliminary numbers. We had a net increase of 10 vehicles, which caused it to go up. We've got a 16% overall increase until Michelle in Bobby Shomo's office found a $5,100 error. They're going to be getting that corrected. So it was the direction we wanted. So that will help a little bit. Our property line earlier was up about 2.4%. We are still waiting on the cyber piece. So I don't have the exact percentage increase now with that 5150 reduction, but
Do you recall what work comp? No, we haven't through
it's
IMWCA.
different. If it's
Yeah,
not through
different
them.
company.
Nope.
Yep, I forgot.
Nope.
Nan, did you say 10 additional vehicles?
Yes, a net 10.
Within the county?
I think some weren't on. And I know, the sheriff's office rotates. I know there's been some.
We've got a few vehicles that we acquired replacements and haven't sold. The old ones, we're gonna look at using this gov deals to get rid of vehicles, and we've missed a couple of the DOT auctions just for, we've had mixed results from using DOT auction for vehicle sales, so we've got, I'm guessing right now we've got 2 and maybe 3 that are headed
Extras.
Yeah.
We also picked up a vehicle for conservation, one for the assessor's office, and
Assessors should have been a net 0 change.
Yeah,
They
right.
got rid,
they
they
got
traded.
rid of the old one, got a new one.
The conservation kept the
We
old
didn't keep
vehicle,
any
didn't
years,
they?
did
I believe so, yes.
That's what I remember.
So
but
we
if they didn't have insurance on the old, full insurance on it,
That would be a
then it
change.
would be,
Yeah.
it would raise things, yeah.
Yes.
Take that back.
You got 1 extra there. So I just think there's just some timing of things and cleanup. I haven't had chance to read through the 146
Yeah.
pages.
And I know
quite
Paul's
yet.
real good when we do get rid of one from wherever we do, that he notifies you guys and
You didn't
gets it off the list.
No, I didn't.
Yes, yeah, because that's kind of a change. It used to be maintained in Paul's office, and that's changing over to Maria.
Yeah, we're handing that out. Maria's gonna be the point of contact for insurance for vehicles.
I think actually for everything. She's so lucky. Courthouse interior schedule, and just courthouse interior, the contract, we're hoping in the next couple of weeks, we have the finalization of the contracts. All the subcontracts on the interior are out. I'd say about 50% of them are back. Many times those have to go up the chain, similar to how they do here, so it just takes some time. The plumber was a big unknown because that vendor did change, and the new plumber has accepted all of the previous work of the former plumber.
That's huge.
That was huge, and so I think that contract is even signed. The schedule, previously, we were doing kind of a phased schedule, and due to some of the HVAC-ish, the way it's set up on second and third floor, with the shortened ceilings, that phased approach actually didn't work, or if it did, it would have cost us quite a bit of extra money. So the new plan is to literally start on 1 and get it done, then 2, then 3. When both 2 and 3 are done, then we can look at having the attorneys come back in on 2nd. We can move IT down to 1, because that will be the first step. We don't have a schedule yet to know when the attorneys get to move out of their $1 rent location.
Kathy says they have a home until they don't need it
That's so
anymore.
nice of Kathy. I'm glad that that went well. So things in here, we've actually got full teams of electricians in here pulling things. There's been a gentleman here the entire time working by himself. Now he's got teams in here pulling stuff, and there's a lot of things
They
going
were
on.
pulling this morning.
Yes, they've been pulling last week too. They were here last week, so there's a lot happening there. The election center, also be lovingly known as the old fire station, Building and Grounds is working really hard to get that all up and ready. They're laying carpet today on the first floor in the public and office area to get that ready. We are also working on second floor, trying to get all of our election storage space combined. Everything as of yesterday is out of the sheriff's office. They brought all the last things out of that storage room. So we've got everything in the room, and a couple of my staff are down there working hard to get everything properly organized. One final thing, I had an email from Jessica Kinzer, the city administrator, and they are applying for an EDA grant. And one of the things with this grant is any possible new hires in the next 5 years. I don't know if anyone has a crystal ball, but she asked if the county, if we thought we'd have any additions of staff. And one of the things I did think about was in the IT department, adding a GIS and adding another IT. I mean, I know you've got an opening from someone leaving, but you've also got kind of
Technically, we have 2 openings in
two-
IT and 1 in GIS.
and one in GIS, but 2 of them are new positions. So I thought there's something we could probably count for her purposes, but I didn't know if anyone else had any new hires. So if anybody thinks of anything, I'm just asking that they shoot me an email of, because that's how those grants work, and the way, if that helps them get it, it's for 10 blocks, I can't remember, on Main Street to get it redone. So.
Well, they did help us with the bridge.
I'm a big proponent when a grant, if this is something that's going to help on a grant, if we can brainstorm a little bit. That one came to me in the middle of the night, James, so. James has 2. So that's all I've got.
Anybody else? Anybody on Zoom that has anything for the good of the order?
I do. This is Kim Elder, Marshall County Emergency Management. Couple of things. First, I met with the director of Ridge Home out of Ames, Story County. They are a homeless shelter / resource center for those in need of housing, mental health, and medical care, and other things that they may need in that same realm. They've been serving Marshall County for a while, but they didn't have the resources that they needed here in the county. And so just so happened my son took a job with them, and so I got an in with them. I talked to them for a bit, wanted to let them know our services here that they weren't familiar with, gave them information on CICS, Salvation Army, MICA, mental health facilities here, and then some other things. So at some point, I would guess, if she hasn't already, she probably will be talking to the Board of Supervisors and the Board of Health. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm I'm sitting off the side of the road because I'm traveling today, but can you hear me all right?
Yes, you're coming through
Okay,
fine.
okay, good. So, so she will be hopefully reaching out to some of those others. They, like I said, they've been coming to Marshalltown and assisting Marshall County residents for some time, sharing, I think 1 day a week they go in with YSS and do some work. And so they kind of have a temporary space there. They're looking to find somewhere, hopefully in the near future, to have an office in Marshall County. So some good resources there, and we had a really good meeting on Monday. So hopefully she'll reach out. Second thing is mainly the Dwayne Arnold DIEC, the Palo nuclear facility, as most of you know, has ceased operations as of June. So in June, we no longer were considered a host reception center county. Today is kind of the final day. I'm working with the state, and Dwayne Arnold will be out there in about 20 minutes. That's where I'm headed. And we will be cleaning out our facilities at the fairgrounds. Hopefully in the next few days, then we'll have everything out of there, separate things back out to the state, to Dwayne Arnold, and then FEMA has some things out there too. So end of a huge era of being a host reception center for that facility. I'm going to miss it myself. I know I've had a lot of first responders that were very dedicated over the years that did a lot of work. And I appreciate that more than anybody knows. We went above and beyond to learn new things, to be able to monitor for radiological facility standards. So I guess on that note, we are still on the state's list in case there was an incident in the state. They considered our training here in our county very helpful and viable. So we'll continue to do a little side training. And if there was any incident, hopefully we don't have that, but we do have the knowledge to help out. So I think that's it. I just kind of wanted to let you know about those.
And what was the first person you were referencing? What agency are they with?
Bridge Home?
Bridge Home?
Yes, out of Story County.
Okay, thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
Anybody else with anything for the good of the order? Just a thought for Jessica. I know they're not new hires, but they are new on Main Street. We brought all the people from DHS over to the annex, everybody from Public Health to the annex, everybody from Veterans Affairs to the annex, and everybody in CICS. So that's a considerable amount of new people working on Main Street. I don't know if it'll work for the grant, but if it does, it does.
Yeah, it's at least worth mentioning. CICS was there before tornado, but none of the others were.
Right.
Did you mention VA? Did I hear you say VA?
Yeah.
also?
Yes,
Okay,
yep. We moved them over from State Street. Okay. Anybody else? All right. There being none, we're on to adjournment. The next regular session is October 12th, 2021 at 9:05 a.m. All business to be acted upon at that session should be submitted to the County Auditor Recorder's Office or the Board of Supervisors' Office by Wednesday, October 16th, 2021 at 12 p.m. There being no further business to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned at 9:39 a.m.